Hey everyone, Eric Watson here, freelance writer, player of games, writer, forger, recorder of videos, and a tabletop role-playing aficionado. Welcome to another DM's Guild review, my written and video viewer series. Take a look at the adventures and supplemental material at the Dungeon Masters Guild website. With this video, I'll be reviewing the Spelljammer mini-adventure, Shot in the Dark, designed by Shane Hogan and the Triden Games team for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Review copy has been provided for the purposes of this review, and if you enjoy the content, consider using my affiliate links for your online shopping and supporting me via patreon.com/Rogue Watson. Shot in the Dark is a rock and roll adventure. I crafted a maybe rock inspired adjacent adventure during my early Shadowrun days, where the players played as bodyguards to a maybe more of a pop star, I guess, during a concert scenario. But I think having a concert is such a cool idea because there's a lot of like chaos and just a cool atmosphere for an adventure setting. This one takes it into a bit more of a maybe epic adventure idea, and it seems like it comes up with the ending first and then kind of gave you some filler stuff in the beginning, which is fine. It's an Adventures League style adventure, which means it has a certain organizational structure to it, and it's also designed for a single play, so it feels a little bit short. Shot in the Dark is designed for 8th level parties with adventure level encounter adjustments for levels 5 through 10, and takes place in space. It's a Spelljammer adventure, which is, I've only reviewed a handful of those, I believe. I'm not familiar with the Treya trinary system this takes place in. There's this whole little backstory about this group and things. I don't really need to know about any of that, other than the fact that this is kind of a small station, not even a full planet, I believe, and there is a giant creature. It uses the cosmic horror stat block, but like that's modified so much it might as well not be a cosmic horror. But this giant creature has suddenly emerged for whatever reason and has already nearly destroyed this one ship in the area. But the ship randomly discovered the creature was like immune to all the attacks and spells and everything, cannons. But it had their like alarm system tripped, and the sound seemed to affect the creature. So we're already skipping ahead past like what I feel like are the early stages of the adventure. And by the time the players get called in to this station to help deal with the threat, the quest giver already knows, all right, there's this giant monster coming this way. The only way to defeat them is with the awesome power of rock, or AKA just loud sounds. We've already hired a huge intergalactic band called Vorpal Scream, which is a pretty hilarious like satirization of an 80s glam band, as you can imagine with pretty much every rock adventure would need, I think. And then they're already going to put on the concert to defeat the creature, because we've already assumed, I guess, that just bigger concentrated blasts of sound through the awesome power of rock will defeat this big bad creature. And you wonder, well, what do the players need to do then? Well, they just need to act as bodyguards for these rock stars. Now, it does get better than that. Things happen where the rock stars, of course, can't make the concert, and then the players have to step in and actually do the whole thing. It gets a little linear and funky, especially if the characters aren't all on board with being in the rock adventure, but hopefully, I mean, if they're not, then don't run this adventure. It'd be pretty obvious. And I'll tell you right now as a reviewer, don't run this adventure. We're not interested in having a kind of goofy but fun, rock concert adventure that I think is a little short but has some fun bits to it. As an Adventures League, it offers, like here's part one and then like part 2A and part 2B or whatever, and you can kind of choose which path you want to go on depending on the decisions the players make. I think it actually works best if we include all of the optional content and run it all together. So the very first split level path the party can deal with is the band comes and they meet the band members, which are pretty delightful, I think. The art style, by the way, and the layout is not a selling point of this adventure. You can see it's got a very plain, just regular white paper, organization to it, and then the art is all AI Midjourney artwork, and the cover looks cool. Obviously, looks very Stranger Things inspired, and then you can see with the teeth and the fingers, it kind of falls apart a little bit. But then all this little art too is also AI art, and it's all just kind of, it's not really well integrated into the pages, just kind of a square. So the presentation is not very good, and the same is true for the band members. The art is all just AI generated art, but I do appreciate the descriptions we get for all the band members. They seem like they're a pretty hilarious, fun group of party rock stars. I almost wish we got more descriptions of them, more personality, traits and everything, and then we spent more time with them, because I just really love these characters, and I would have an absolute blast as a DM role playing these characters and interacting with the party for sure. That's the members of Vorpal Scream. So the Vorpal Scream group shows up in the beginning, and then they split by having some of them want to go out and just kind of check out the I guess town you're at, the station. And the other group is just sitting at home, like writing music, which is kind of a weird thing for glam rock stars to do, but I guess they still have to write music at some point. I would just run both of those. The party wants to run both of them, which one of them is a kind of table of encounters, although the encounters are just more like flavor stuff and not really like challenges. Or they go to a bar and essentially just get into a bar fight with a bunch of gifts with like non-lethal, pool cues, whacking everything. But we're talking 8th level players right here. I don't like. I can't imagine a bar fight wouldn't be over real quick with just a few like subtle spells and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm overestimating what a party can be capable of. Clearly, this should not be like a lethal to the death battle. It's just a classic bar fight. So unlike a lot of D&D fights that are against monsters trying to kill you, this is not the case. But I wish there were more of this. I wish there were more complications and just more fun shenanigans with the rock stars themselves. Instead, we basically get that one event, and then at home, it's just kind of a skill check of writing this the lyrics to a song that they're working on, which it kind of gives an example one to do it to Sweet Child of Mine, which I will not sing for you because I'm not Axl Rose, but is a great song. Okay, I won't do it. So that's fine. But we go to immediately the finale after that, part 2, and off screen, the Vorpal Scream group has partied in their rooms, and they are completely drunk and hungover. It does have content warnings for alcohol consumption. I'm like, well, you don't think like at least one of my party members would want to like hang out with them and party, and be involved in this and would know that they're going too far, maybe instigate a lie. I obviously as a DM you can just kind of make those adjustments, but it feels a little bit just too railroady and linear that like, oh, our whole job was to protect these people, and which is over really quickly, and then all of a sudden through no fault of our own they become incapacitated for the next leg of the adventure, which is either, technically it splits up here, either the party picks up the slack and they become the rock stars, which is kind of funny because, do they have bards or not? Do they have any kind of performance skills? I don't know. Or do they try and heal or repair or refuse to play, in which case the other group does finally come out, and then the party actually deals with just monsters that appear. Because again, the only way to fight the big bad cosmic horror thing is through the awesome power of rock. I would run both of these. Again, I think I would combine both optional legs, because you might have some party members who are going to be really into the like picking up the instruments and like, yeah, I want to do all the the cool performance checks, and there's different like pyrotechnics they can do, and these flourishes which give you like the guidance effect or something, or can give you inspiration or advantage on different things. It's a whole little sidebar here that's actually got some good ideas in there. It maybe does the falls into the trap of kind of overly ruleizing, an event where players would just kind of, I think as a DM, you'd set all these rules up, and then when the actual event happens, you just kind of have to play it by ear by players just wanting to do this or that. But at least you can follow this as kind of a general guideline for trying to harm the creature. And you're in initiative. This isn't like some kind of skill challenge thing. Like, you're actually doing it in combat, and the creature has a stat block and is like attacking you with its tentacles and with its legendary actions and stuff. At the same time, or alternatively, you have the characters have to deal with the monstrous threats, while the band, who has been healed or just comes back because they have to play, and now they have to deal with these kind of just random monsters that attack. It's like a cloaker and Mind Witness and something else. I would, again, combine those things just because I always like boss fights with minions to deal with. And in fact, having a boss that you cannot normally attack, maybe you've got a barbarian who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing with music, but can jump down there and at least fight some battles and still, maybe, he can be inspired by the music of rock going on. So I think there's some pretty cool ideas here, but that's the whole thing. Like, it's 15 pages. It's very, very short. There is an actual conclusion here and some treasure and magic items they can grab. But I wish there was more, but I liked the finale part of it. So all the stuff that I wish were more content was basically before that. Again, it just feels like the whole adventure was written with this finale in mind, and then like the rest of the beginning was kind of mentioned, including the adventure hook, which in Adventures League stuff, the adventure hooks are always very bare minimum and just, who cares, just get me there as quickly as possible, which fair. But here's an interesting opportunity where from an adventure hook you could have the players be involved in that initial attack of the big monster and actually show it off and show how it's like immune to everything, and like, holy crap, we can't deal with this sudden horrible threat until an alarm goes off and you see it gets injured by that and has to retreat, but it's still going to ultimately turn around and go towards the way station. Now the party has to go there. I just think that's would be an interesting adventure hook for the party to deal with, and as a fun way of introducing that monster would help, again, add some more content and stages to the beginning. Maybe I'm being overly critical because I've never liked that Adventures League format, never played in that format, so I'm not used to having those really quick, like, okay, let's go. And instead I want to explore like more of these fun spaces and areas. And even I think taking the all the optional, like, oh, they can do this or this, and making sure they do both of those and actually encouraging the players to like split up in different avenues, it still feels a little short to me. And I would love to especially spend more time with that Vorpal Scream rock band and have them be more involved, have more complications. Maybe there's a chase sequence somewhere. Maybe there's some fans. They're really excited and the players have to like fend them off or something along those lines. I think you can do a lot of fun stuff. And none of this involves like a dungeon crawl or anything remotely close to what a traditional D&D adventure would be, which I think is a huge plus for this adventure. And I'm very excited and positive by the fact that it feels like just very far removed from what I would consider a normal, typical adventure, and pretty exciting and motivating for me to run something that's maybe more Spelljammer-esque and allows you to play something that feels more modern, era and modern themes, but still with like D&D adventuring and things. I think that's there's a lot of fun stuff to happen there. Also, as we go into our pros and cons, I'll go ahead and talk about this pro. Where the presentation does matter, at least, is it gives us handouts and maps and tokens. These are all separate zip files of all of these spaces we need. So we actually have like a map of the stage concert, which is going to be primary map we're going to need to run this big climactic encounter with this monster as you all pick up the instruments and rock out, as well as even a map of the tavern they go into and have that kind of bar fight. There's a little, this is kind of a non-great, just black and white version right on the paper, but hey, there's a handout there that you can use, and we do have actual VTT-ready tokens of all of these Vorpal Scream band members as well, which is pretty nifty. Other pro is encounter adjustments for levels 5 through 10, which is something I do expect from a lot of Adventures League adventures, but it is probably one of the things I like that started as a thing, is like, oh, let's include these for every encounter. Here's how to adjust it up or down, more hit points or fewer enemies or something with each encounter. I love seeing that in every adventure, Adventures League or not. Vorpal Scream is a very nicely satirized 80s glam band, and I wish we just spent more time with them because I think they're pretty fabulous. And pro, I think it's got a cool climax that involves, using the power of rock to defeat a big, nasty monster. I think that works. And with the added complexity of how all the different instruments work and the fact that it gives the reins, because originally I was like, oh wait, we've already got like the band, so what do we need the players for? But of course the band gets incapacitated, so now the players have to pick up the slack. I would probably maybe do a combo and maybe some of the band members get incapacitated or something, to where not every player would feel that they have to pick up the instrument. Some might prefer, or just, character wise, be like, I'm not going to do that. I'd rather, fight bad guys or just cast spells or something. That's totally fine as well. But it gives me enough tools as a DM to be able to, run that as an option if everybody if everyone wanted to be involved in the ban directly with all those rules, or if they didn't and just wanted to deal with other threats and even complications that happen, which are basically layer actions during this big climax. So pretty cool. Cons, I think it just needs more content. Yes, I know it's an Adventurers League mission. It's still only about 15 pages, and I just reviewed another product that I felt was too short as well. And I think there are short adventures that don't feel short. This one feels short. There's just not, and I think it really feels short in the beginning. I wanted more content out of here. I was really excited to spend more time with the band members, maybe explore the area of this unique way station, everything, and instead we just kind of pop over pretty quickly to the finale. The other con is the actual presentation of this product. It's unattractive, plain layout, and over-reliance on purely AI-generated art. My thoughts and opinions on AI-generated art, I think, are pretty complex and ever-evolving, but I will say I don't super like it when people only rely on that kind of art to fill out their entire product. There are tons of resources out there, many of which are completely royalty free and free just to include, especially if you're using it on the DM's Guild, that you can pop in here to kind of help, add some more art in here. But if I go several pages like this without seeing any kind of art in there, that's not great. Final verdict, Shot in the Dark is a rock and roll Spelljammer adventure with an epically cool climax, but the set list could use a few more songs. Thank you to everyone for watching this video review. You can see my written review at roguewatson.com. You can watch more reviews and follow our own D&D adventures here on the channel. And you can support my work at patreon.com/roguewatson. Shouts to Platinum patrons Joe, Will, Thomas, Stan, Brandon, Zensider, Eclectic Roleplay Roll, Christopher, Corey, Big Nut, John F, John L, Eric, Tyler, Nathan, Cap, Chris, Counselor, Andrew, Dell, Reldron, Captain Woody 79, Stephanie, Andy, Patrick, Jason, Ismail, Amit, Lippy, Spud, Sharni, David, William, Niziak, and gold patrons RPG, Papercrafts, Pretty Boy, and Yuma, That Does Lounge, Sam, Jerome, Nathan, Fast Tortoise, Scott, Rufus, Carolyn, Jerry, Glenn, Marcus, and Mark. Thank you all very much for your support.